Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for today, Wednesday, November 20th, 2013. Our first news article of the day is from Washington's blog. $8.5 trillion in taxpayer money doled out by Congress to the Pentagon since 1996 has never been accounted for. And I wanted to also just take this opportunity to remind everyone of the CAFRs, the confidential annual financial reports that hide, according to this article from Goon Squad, Care and Washing of the Brain.blogspot.com, $150 trillion government slush fund. So that is a lot of money that's hidden in the coffers, and we always hear that cities can't afford this, can't afford that, and some cities file bankruptcy, and Detroit has a lot of housing that's just completely deteriorating. When all along there is a lot of money there, it's just not accessible to the people to whom it belongs. Here from Infowars.com, New Media Wars, the Empire Strikes Back. And this article is about how some mainstream media websites have shut down comment sections because people aren't preaching the party line. They don't want to deal with any kind of dissidents. And this is a serious issue at this time. I have mentioned a few different times that there have been statements made by people who, especially Dutchsinse, he's a notable one, who received offers of large amounts of money to go along with what people, they represented themselves as being OPPT, but OPPT said it wasn't them. But obviously there's a hook. The money is an offer to draw somebody in and to have the alternative media people reinforce the position of the establishment and the established media, or possibly just to bring division and frustration to the liberty movement. But this is just an article about Dutchsinse, and I had this up before earlier. Dutchsinse video prompts Filipino scientists to deny geophysics and HAARP technology. So Dutchsinse has been really kind of in the forefront of this struggle between the old media and the new media. And Dutchsinse this week had his YouTube channel shut down, which is really ultimately why I'm mentioning him, is that this struggle gets really pretty ugly at times. And someone supposedly reported his channel, but he hadn't done anything wrong, so his channel was taken down from YouTube for more than 24 hours, I think. And he was saying that due to it being down for that period of time, he lost probably 40,000 views of his videos. So even though everything was restored, it's really not, he wasn't really made whole, because he did suffer a loss that he was not compensated for. And YouTube was down a couple days ago for maybe an hour, close to an hour anyway. So, you know, things happen sometimes with servers. But it's always curious how YouTube functions. They aren't really accurate with counters, and they're kind of known for not giving inconvenient truth type channels quite the same treatment as maybe, you know, the mainstream media, a channel like NBC or something on YouTube. Here from the Electronic Frontier Foundation is an article, Encrypt the Web Report, Who's Doing What? We've asked the companies in our Who Has Your Back program what they are doing to bolster encryption in light of the NSA's unlawful surveillance of your communications. We're pleased to see that 4 companies, Dropbox, Google, Spider Oak, and Sonic.net, are implementing 5 out of 5 of our best practices for encryption. In addition, we appreciate that Yahoo just announced several measures it plans to take to increase encryption, including the very critical encryption of data center links, and that Twitter has confirmed that it has encryption of data center links in progress. So when the people speak and say we don't want to be spied on, if enough people make enough noise, there will be a response. If we remember to vote with our dollars and just speak out against injustice, that really does accomplish something anyway. Here from RT is an article, "Enough was done to answer Israel's legitimate concern to finally sign a deal with Iran." So we just have all sorts of good news today, don't we? We'll see how that holds up. From 2012, The Big Picture, New York Times rejects Monsanto science. And the first paragraph is, "Now we're getting somewhere. I wonder if this had anything to do with the 9/11 billboard we the people put in Times Square right in front of the New York Times building, asking them why they didn't report the truth." So more progress that some of these atrocities are beginning to be acknowledged on a broader scale and in a more mainstream fashion. Here from Northeast Intelligence Network, "Weaponized banking, cybersecurity, hacking, and electronic theft of all personal ID and information." Of course, this is still an issue. And I also, in kind of this context, I wanted to just mention Bitcoin, and this was an article that I happened to come across today. I sold my Bitcoin. Guess what I bought? This person bought, sounds like maybe one Bitcoin at $45 and cashed it out to buy his wife some new clothes and 2 10-ounce hand-poured silver bars. So Bitcoin has been quite a good investment. Now, the fact that it is being considered an investment makes it less effective as a currency, just because with any investment there's some volatility, and there has been a lot of volatility with Bitcoin. But referencing the article that I had about banking, people are definitely looking for alternatives to conventional established banking and financial mechanisms. And Bitcoin is certainly a viable alternative, and it has shown to really be gaining in popularity. So I'm sure there will be other currencies that pop up, but this idea of an independent currency is really tremendous and really places a lot of power back in the hands of the people. And Max Kaiser, of course, is always touting this. And Max Kaiser is beginning his website to promote more crowdsourcing, crowdfunding. So with Bitcoin, it looks like it will be more possible to overcome the banking system. And with crowdfunding, as a viable alternative to Wall Street, and one that really works the way Wall Street originally was intended to work, there are mechanisms for us as people to be able to reclaim our economy. From Houston Chronicle Business, Hyundai to market hydrogen vehicle next year. So another, what feels like a breakthrough. It just seems like the ice is beginning to crack a little bit and break up, and the waters of liberty and innovation are flowing to some extent. Here is an article from The Guardian. Donald Sutherland quote, "I want Hunger Games to stir up a revolution." The veteran actor who plays tyrannical President Coriolanus Snow in the blockbuster series talks about films as political activism plus cinema, villains, and happy marriages. And I read this. He does say he wants a revolution. Now, it's probably not exactly the revolution that most of us want, but he is hoping that young people will become stirred up through these films and realize that they can impact what they see happening around them, and that they can take action to restore justice. And he does use the word justice. And a little quote here from this article: millennials need awakening from slumber. You know, the young people of this society have not moved in the last 30 years. With the exception of Occupy, a minority movement, passivity reigns. They have been consumed with telephones and tweeting. So he's hoping that these films will help millennials and maybe other people as well to become more awake, more engaged with what is actually happening around them in the real world. And I happen to really like the book trilogy, The Hunger Games, and really enjoyed the first film. So I do believe there is great potential here for this story to help stir up a revolution and help young people become aware that that none of us really need to put up with injustice, that we can demand liberty and that we can demand justice. And if enough people join together in asking for this, this was the mental image that I had as I was processing this. Here from The Walking Dead is a photo of a whole bunch of zombies trying to push the fence down. The zombies are completely mindless and really are only compelled by very base instincts, really just to eat. And yet, if enough of them mass against a fence, the fence falls down. So, you know, we don't have to be vastly talented or intelligent or brave. We just need a lot of people demanding liberty and justice, and the fences of oppression and tyranny will fall down. Thank you for tuning in for today's news. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.